Hey, call me Shape. And today I'm reacting to a video titled Toxic 304 Thinks She's Unlovable, so she thirst traps for fun. Let's get right into it.
I'm like, I don't ever feel like I deserve love. And you know, you remember we had that conversation, they're like, oh no, then you can't think like that. But that's how I've been thinking. I don't ever feel, I feel like, oh, love always hurt and I don't feel like I deserve love. So I always do my own, yeah, you hug me, remember? And I always say that, and that's toxic for somebody to sit there and be like, you know what? I don't feel like I deserve love. So somebody like that is very toxic. Somebody like me is very toxic.
But Danny, what are you? Okay,
no, I feel like
hold on. You realize
I'm not hurt.
You realize that is your problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing? And this is what Rico was saying. What are you doing, or what are you doing, or what have you done to combat that?
Right now, what am I doing? Right now, I'm trying to trust. I don't trust nobody. Nobody that I date. Only person I trust is my family and my close friends. I don't ever trust no man that I date. So I'm trying to believe, or this man could actually love me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to really believe that, and I'm trying to open up to guys. Like, a man will sit there and tell me everything. I love you. I want to do this for you. I'm there for you. Let's be together. And I look at him like, in my head, it's so messed up, or you're lying. Ain't no way you love me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep having sex with you because it's fun, but I know you don't give, you know, like.
So what are you doing?
Well, right now I'm trying to be more open, trying to open, like, you know.
So what are you doing to
be more open with my feelings? I've been trying to be more open with my feelings, trying to trust somebody who could actually care for me instead of just me denying it. Oh, there's no way he loves me.
Danny, can I tell you something?
Okay.
And this is going back to what we were saying, and this is something that they actually said, is that doing things cold turkey is actually one of the most ineffective ways to be successful in overcoming that problem. Short story, right? And this is just to kind of give you an idea of doing things in increments, right? For a year and a half, I did not curse. I did not say any curse words. I started off by trying to limit myself for 10 curse words a day. Mm-hmm. Once I can complete that for 14 days, I knocked it down to 5. It took me about 2 months, and then I did not curse for about maybe 11 or 12 months after that. Mm-hmm. But it took time, and it took practice, and I didn't just say I'm not going to curse on the next day. It's 9 times out of 10 never going to happen that way. So just going out and saying, yo, I don't feel like I deserve to be loved, I'm going to just try to trust you. That's not going to be, the odds are that is not going to be effective. You have to find something that's going to make you and allow you to take that first initial step. It could be a slow step. Sometimes slow and steady wins the race. You know what I'm saying? But you can't just dive in and think it's going to change automatically. You're going to end up repeating the cycle. And next thing you know it, you could be 45, 50 years old, still repeating that same cycle and just now getting it.
Well, Danny, I want to say that I think that no one is too toxic for love. Like, I was actually kind of on the fence, like hearing Rico, hearing Oliver. I was kind of on the fence with how I felt about it. But there are people like Danny that feel like they don't deserve love because of their personality, because of their actions. And we all know Danny. Danny will sit down on this couch and be like, I'm fucked up in the head. I'm fucked up in the head. Like, she says that all the time. And to think that she doesn't deserve to be loved, that's crazy to me, because like we've all been saying, take accountability of your actions, want to change. And if that's how you feel inside, like, if you want to change, if you want to, like, figure out, look at the steps. Look at the traits of toxicity. Like, point out what you think that you have, like, what you obtain. Try to work on it. Like, you do deserve love, no matter whether you hold 2 traits on there, 4 traits, all 8. Like, you deserve love no matter what. So.
And who does she deserve love from? Who deserves to be in love with a 304? Like, if she deserves love, who deserves her? Another 304? Another loser? A rapist? Like, when people say this, it's just the entitled committee coming to the rescue. Everyone deserves a trophy. Everyone deserves a participation trophy. You show up, you get love. You get love. Love for you. Love for you. Love for everyone. And it's sad because women believe this because, and if women, okay, I don't even want to go into what I was about to say. How about this? If everyone deserves love, then how come Vivica A. Fox is unloved? How come Tracy Ellis Ross is unloved? How come all these older women who used to be that shit 20, 30 years ago, how come they're all unloved? Seriously, because we say this, where's the evidence in that? Just because you like love doesn't mean you deserve it. And if you do deserve it, who do you deserve it from? A loser? You don't deserve it from a high value man. Everyone doesn't deserve love from the greatest men that exist, the most valuable men. So okay, yeah, she deserves love from a loser, from a simp, from an overweight dude who does not got a job, you know what I'm saying? And he has nothing going for himself. That's who she deserves love from. Because they say this as if a man's supposed to fall in love with her because she deserves it. Because this is why personally, like, I listen to what women say, but it's hard to take them seriously because people have to ask more questions. They can't just listen to these women talk. You gotta pry and like, all right, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Point out, tell me the person that should love her because she deserves it. Please, tell me who.
Take accountability for how you're toxic and want to change, and look for the steps in order to do so.
And want love.
I think the point you brought up is very relatable. I think it's very relatable and it's very reasonable because you can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna trust him. You're not gonna just trust him. You're not, you do have to do things in incremental steps so that it becomes a habit. Because how long is it? 2 weeks to become a habit, or 14 days? Is it 14 or 21? Okay, so let's just say it's 21 days for something to become a habit.
14 days to get in shape.
You're not just gonna, like, you literally have to take it like those incremental steps. You have to take it one day at a time, because all you're gonna do, like Rico said, is end up back where you were. So I feel like really that's something that we should talk about. Like, what is a small step that you took in realizing that you're toxic, and realizing that you got fucked up ways, and realizing that you're, not the person that you want to be? Like, what have you done incrementally to make it happen?
Danny, I actually completely understand you when you say like that feeling of you not deserving love, or like that idea of like you don't deserve love. Because I honestly feel like that is something that I just got over personally. And honestly, before all the crystals and the self journey and yoga, before all that shit, I was like breaking hearts and just like.
You aware?
Breaking hearts?
Yeah.
She's saying it.
Were you aware of you breaking hearts?
Oh, yes, of course, yeah.
Oh.
I realized that it was a...
Okay, I just want to say that never mind, go ahead.
No, yeah, I realized I was breaking hearts because I was actively making choices that were disrespecting other people's boundaries, even if they openly told me that's what their boundary was. And it was kind of like I was trying to push that button and see how many times I could push that button until that button's not there anymore. And it was on that basis of like, can I trust you? Can I trust you? I'm going to keep doing this and keep doing this, until you kind of disappear. And it took me a very like long time to even get a grip over the fact that like, yeah, I was actively making the choice to hurt people. And it sucked. Ultimately now, I can say right now, it sucked. And I had to reach out to some of like the past people that I actually did hurt and kind
apologize.
Yeah, literally. I hit this dude up, one of my high school sweethearts. And I was like, yo, like, I just want to tell you, like, I am so sorry. I am so sorry because all the trauma that I instilled in myself while providing you trauma, like shit, now that we're 21, damn, trusting someone is really hard. And even taking that first step. And it was to the point where like the conversation ended up really well. And he was just like, damn, like the fact that you even hit me up about this, like the old Jordan, I would have never even assumed that you were just about to talk to me about this, And it really is that progression of like taking accountability, understanding that you have a problem, understanding that you have a choice to take accountability and to grow and be better.
And wanting.
Yeah, and not necessarily just wanting love with another person. I honestly started this journey just because I did not love myself. I wanted to love myself. I felt like if I didn't deserve love from another person, then shit, if I want to love myself, straight up.
It's so funny about this because she said, one of my high school sweethearts. Well, gee, how many high school sweethearts do you have? Like, Am I the only one that caught that? Like, what? Anyway, she said that she doesn't love herself, and it makes sense to me. Well, it always makes sense to me that a lot of 304s don't love themselves. That's why they open up their legs for anybody and everybody. And the truth of the matter is, if you valued yourself, you would take better care of yourself. But you said that you're hurting people, you're intentionally hurting people, because realistically, you are hurting inside. You are suffering inside for whatever reason. This is an attractive girl, and she doesn't love herself. Why don't you love yourself? Because you're not famous? Because you're not on Instagram? You're not popping on Instagram? Because you're not the singer you want to be? Like, I'm trying to figure out, what is there not to love about yourself in high school? Anyway, I just think that, when we talk about this topic of people being 304s and people just slutting it up, being a smut their whole lives, and we say they got to take accountability, what it tells me is that they don't know what accountability is. Because to me, accountability is not just saying, I made a mistake, I'm the one to blame. Accountability is like, okay, now accept the consequences. If you think you're unlovable, that is the consequence of you being a 304. We all got to deal with consequences. I made some bad decisions, and I had to pay the price for it. And I still make bad, sometimes I decide wrong, choose poorly, whatever, and there's a cost to that. God said the wages of sin is death. Somebody got to die, And so what's the wages of being a 304? Well, apparently to women, even if you're 304, you still deserve love. Even if you don't work, you still deserve a paycheck. You still deserve money, a place to live. This utopia they believe that someone has to provide something for you, even if you did nothing for it. That everybody gets something. And that's the part that shocks me about this, is that so many women live their life thinking that somebody owes them something. Ain't nobody owe you nothing. And first of all, you don't even, this idea that you get what you deserve, that's never true. Okay? Some people, you might say, oh man, yeah, he deserved that. Yeah, he was talking shit. He got punched in the face. He deserved that. Or she was being a 304. Now she got an STD. She deserved that. You might say that, right? But there's people who didn't do anything wrong, per se, and horrible things happen to them, right? Horrible things happen to good people. Life. Right? The story of Joseph in the Bible, Joseph had a dream, right? God came to him in the dream and said, you're going to be king one day. Right? And what did Joseph do? Joseph told his brothers. What did his brothers do? They sold him away into slavery. And after they sold him into slavery, his slave master, one of the mistress of the slave master, so the wife of the slave master, accused him of raping her. So what happened? They threw him in jail for 9 years. I mean, here's a man that's just suffering with no wrongdoing on his own. And by the way, it's funny that in the Bible, there's Me Too allegations in the Bible that weren't true. But you know what's funny in the Bible? Even though they weren't true, a lot of them still went to jail. So a lot of people were wrongfully imprisoned. Yeah. They didn't deserve that. So I'm saying that you might do something messed up and get something better than you deserve. Or you might do something, you might not do anything and get something worse than you deserve. That's life. But to say we can determine who deserves what, who deserves this, it's not how life works. All these children, all these unborn children they're getting murked in the womb. Right? Because people want pro-choice. Did they deserve that? They're innocent. We know they're innocent. But millions of them perish every year because of the poor choices of their parents or of their mothers. Let's just say their mothers, because no man can force a woman to self-delete her child. Nobody can do that. So I think about these situations. I think to myself that, if I'm ever in a conversation with a girl talking like this, I'm going to just agree with her. Yeah, okay, yeah, you deserve, of course, you deserve to be loved. Do I really believe that? Nope. But do I got to tell the truth? Nope. Women want to, and I talk about this because this is why I'm writing this book called, Be Attractive and Shut Up. And I seen someone in the comments, I seen a Trini dude in the comments talking ish. I was going to respond to you, but I'm going to respond to you here. And I'm only responding to you because you're Trini and I'm Trini and I love my country. Let me tell you something, brother. You know nothing about me, okay? When I talk about my stories of being rejected, that don't mean everywhere I go I get rejected. That don't mean that. Some people take it that way. It don't mean that. I've been with mad beautiful women in my life. So much that, I actually don't care about being with sleeping around anymore because I've done it a lot. Once you see one pretty butthole, you see them all. I've seen many, okay? I've had my fair share. And there was a point in my life where I was like, damn, man, I want to hook up with a hot girl. Well, that time has passed, and I've done that 10 times over, 20 times over, 30 times over. I'm saying this to say that I could admit when I fall short. I'm not embarrassed by it. If I get rejected by a girl, I'm not embarrassed by it. But what I'm saying is I wanted to get to the point that when we're dealing with these conversations with women, women don't actually want to hear the truth. They want to hear something that's going to make them feel better. What this girl said, she coddled the other 304. That's important because ultimately that 304 is going to leave this conversation feeling better about herself. When you speak to it, women, don't bring up this red pill ish. I'm just letting you know. And I said I got rejected recently for bringing up some red pill ish. And in my mind, realistically, is it my job to really teach and lead these women? Not if they're not my wife. But I do believe that we're living in an era where none of us are getting what we want. Women want to have a good time with men, and they're not having a good time with men because men are bitter about, how silly, how entitled women are. And I believe strongly we're not going to change them. I'm accepting now, right? This is April 21st, 2025. We are not going to change anybody. So it's a waste of time to try to. We can have this conversation. We can talk about these things. This is entertainment for men. This is discussions for men. But I'm going to keep it real with you. Outside of this conversation, it's not worth trying to repeat this conversation in your real life. I do this for a living, right? I talk this quote-unquote red pill is for a living. Not really red pills. It's really, I talk about what's in the Bible, the scripture. That's what guides me. That's my foundation. And a lot of things that the red pill say leads to ideas that were shared by God. Right? Men are supposed to be the leaders. Women are supposed to submit. That's all in the Bible. That's all ordained in the Bible. Not women shouldn't just submit to anybody, but they should submit to their husband. And that's what we have. That's the issue we're having now. Women are not submitting to their husband. So I'm saying this to say that I'm writing a book that wants to get to the bottom of what do men really want? Men want to have success with women. I want to have success with women. There's no point in me going out and dating women just for it to not work out because I'm trying to convince her of something she don't want to be convinced of. My homie used to say this to me all the time because I've had successful women, but I've been around men that got way more successful women than me. And one of my boys, shout out to Paul Breezy, if he ever sees this, I'm talking about him. He said, bro, when you go on these dates with these girls, you be talking about a bunch of stuff they don't even want to hear. Straight up. So I'm telling you, when y'all be going on dates with girls and y'all complain and y'all mad, I see people in the comments mad and angry, resentful. Just know that if you bring that energy to the date, a girl's going to feel that. And she don't want to, who wants to really sleep with someone that's mad, angry, and resentful? Do you want to sleep with someone that's mad, angry, and resentful? Think about it. So even if we could call women and say they're wrong, they need to be accountable, we're wrong too because ultimately they have decided that the seduction is up to us. We got to seduce them. So if a girl rejects me, even though I don't agree with her premise, she's still correct. Why? Because ultimately I failed in a sense of making her just enjoy herself. It bothers me in a way that women just want to have fun and just want to talk about nonsense and novelty and they read books that's not going to do nothing for them. But I got to accept that this is the way they are. And if I want to keep sleeping with these women or enjoying my time with them, I got to understand how they are. I know they're not going to turn around and be like me. And honestly, respectfully, men and women are not the same. We're not going to be the same. And so we got to accept our differences. And women, as you can see, they can sleep around with anybody, whoever they want, whenever they want. I could preach them to their face turn blue that it's going to end up bad. It's going to end up bad. It ain't going to change nothing. The reality of it is, can I provide the experiences they want, and so I can get the experience that I want? What do you want from women? Do you really want to hear them talk and yap and talk this nonsense, or do you really want them on their knees performing for you, respectfully? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about your wife. Okay, I'm talking about your wife. Anyway, the whole point about it is that, like, if we're going to be dating and fornicating, we shouldn't be fornicating, but if we're going to be fornicating, right, at least fornicate in such a way. Now, I ain't going to talk about that. Fornication is wrong, right? And I ain't going to try to side and convince you. I'm just trying to say, I know that a lot of men that watch my channel, they look to me and they want to see if they can learn something. And the thing I'm trying to teach you guys is that when it comes to women, I agree with Corey Wayne. Corey Wayne used to say it all the time. Hook up, hang out, have fun. You talk about anything serious such as politics, religion, or even dating like red pill and this kind of controversial red pill stuff like that, it's going to go in one ear, out the another ear. The girl's just going to reject you. So if you could predict that as a man, you could turn around and say to yourself, what do I really want from her? Because now I'm trying to see what I realize right now with this whole gender warfare, nobody's happy. Women are miserable. I'm not saying men are miserable, but you know what I'm saying? We're single. We're not enjoying ourselves with each other. Realistically, you know, if a woman is attracted to you and you kill the vibe because you're talking some shit like this right here, it ain't worth it. I'm not saying get rid of your ideas. I'm just saying know your audience. That's all I'm saying. Know your audience. So when I'm talking to you guys, 99% of my audience is men, I'm going to tell you the real. But if it flips, you know what I'm saying, and all women, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to just talk about nonsense because that's what they want to hear. Do I agree with it? No. But then again, I'm not a woman. They're not a man. You know what I'm saying? We don't communicate the same. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel blowing up. I'm about to drop that ebook, Be Attractive and Shut Up. And the reason why I'm doing it, because I know ultimately men just want to have success with women. We want to discuss these topics, but it makes no sense for you to take my channel, take the things that I say on this channel, and be combative with women. It's not going to do nothing for you. You're not going to have any more success. And therefore, I want to give you guys the successful way to get what you want in dating. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll see y'all over there.